What's up, guys? This is Coach Joe from Hyperthrive Athletics, and today I want to talk to you about why mass equals gas. So to figure this out, we need to look at the equation for momentum. So momentum equals mass times velocity. So the mass of an object and how fast it's moving equals the momentum that object has. And there's a principle called the principle of conservation of momentum. And in physics, conservation just means something wants to remain the same. So momentum, unless acted upon by another force, is going to stay the same. It's going to remain constant. So we know that mass equals velocity, but momentum wants to stay the same. So if we look at this equation, if one side of this equation drops, the other one is going to increase to match that same amount of momentum. So a cool illustration of this is when we look at a whip and why a whip works so efficiently and can move so fast. So at the bottom of the whip, when someone puts energy into it, they're transferring momentum into that whip. And as that momentum travels down the whip, we know that it wants to stay constant. It wants to conserve itself. But as it goes down the whip gets thinner and thinner. So the mass drops. And in order to match that same amount of momentum, we know that velocity has to increase to keep that equation the same. It's like a scale. One of those has to increase to match the momentum. So when we look at this and what it means for baseball players, if we can produce the same amount of velocity, and we do that through quality skill work, sprint work, and power work, and we also increase the mass, just the size of the body and the cross-sectional area of the muscles, we know we're gonna get an improvement in momentum. And when we can transfer a higher amount of momentum into the implement, so whether it's the ball or the bat, we know that's gonna increase in velocity because the mass of that bat or that ball remains constant. A baseball is always gonna be 5 ounces. So we know if we put more momentum into it, it's going to increase the velocity. So yes, mass absolutely equals gas. If you can put on good quality tissue and weight, it's going to allow you to throw harder, but we need to make sure we're staying on top of our speed and our skill work so the other end of the equation doesn't drop. So yes, mass equals gas, move fast and get heavy.